Majority Leader, you can now have you have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I support this bill. Honorable Speaker, as I support this bill, Honorable Speaker, let me just begin by pointing out the three critical issues that I see this bill proposing to do. One is to raise revenue to meet the expenditure of our national government and our county governments. The revenue expenditure that we approved yesterday and even supplied to ministries. Two is to provide tax incentives to both consumers and Kenyan businesses, and that's why you see a raft of proposals that incentivize the Kenyan businesses. Three, Honorable Speaker, is to improve the tax administration by easing the tax burden to persons and also to businesses paying taxes. Income tax on rental income is falling from 10 to 7.5%, but nobody says that. We only talk about what is going up. Only VAT on fuel. And even VAT on fuel, Your Honorable Speaker, is not a new thing. We were here in 2018 on this floor. The same mouths today that are vilifying the rise of 8% to 16% advocated for the 8% that exists today from 0%. The same voices, Honorable Speaker, that vilify the housing levy today. Honorable Speaker, this bill has huge incentives for our manufacturing sector. This bill speaks to incentives that will lower the rate of income tax and offer incentives for manufacturing of human vaccines in Kenya. And we all remember pre and post-COVID, the issues we had with COVID vaccines, Honorable Speaker, and what implication that will have to all our young men and women who are looking for jobs. Honorable Speaker, also in respect to local manufacturing, in the manufacture of motor vehicles, the bill has proposed a concessionary corporate income tax rate for local vehicle manufacturers at 15%, down from 30%. But nobody will mention this, Honorable Speaker. Nobody will tell you, among us those who are vilifying this bill, Honorable Speaker, that critical value chains in the manufacture of vehicles, including solar batteries, electric cars, their incentives have been input in this bill, and the committee actually has added further proposals even on the import of the electric cars and motor vehicles, Honorable Speaker, including electric motorcycles, to bring down the amount of fuel that we consume every month, Honorable Speaker, that is taking a huge chunk of our foreign exchange. Honorable Speaker, I have spoken about the rental income tax that is falling from 10 to 7.5%, bringing down the cost, the burden of tax for landlords and consequently to tenants who can now enjoy lower rents when the taxes being paid by landlords are being lowered, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on VAT, those who tell you about, or rather vilify the bill, lying to Kenyans that they will pay VAT on tax, on insurance compensation, will not tell you that this bill is now exempting VAT for inputs on goods where farms used to manufacture drugs, both human and animal drugs, Honorable Speaker. The bill also provides exemptions on construction and equipping of specialized hospitals, Honorable Speaker, which was with a bed capacity, and I see the Honorable Nyikali is very keen on that, a bed capacity of 100 beds. But the committee, in their own wisdom, have now reduced that exemption to bed capacity, hospitals with a bed capacity of only 50 beds. You can imagine how many hospitals in our constituencies can now afford to have a 50-bed facility that will enjoy tax incentives, therefore bringing the cost of medication and health care, making it cheaper for our people. But nobody, again, Honorable Speaker, will tell you about this. Again, on VAT, Honorable Speaker, there are proposed exemptions to several agricultural products, among them the transportation of sugarcane. And I was wishing the honorable members from the Sugar Belt were all here, because I have not heard any of them speak about this. Honorable Speaker, they will now enjoy exemption on transportation to sugarcane, of sugarcane to sugar mills. There will be exemption on fertilizer, exemption of value addition to tea, Honorable Speaker, the manufacture of pesticides and pest control are also being exempted under the VAT. And all these things, Honorable Speaker, are in this bill. But nobody wants to say, I will say them, Mr. Speaker, because I have a duty and responsibility to inform the people of Kenya on the truth about what is in this bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are also other proposals of zero rating items to do with fertilizer, as I mentioned, some for sugarcane in sugar mills, pest controls, Honorable Speaker, and I could enumerate, Honorable Speaker. From the lake region, the coastal belt, where we are producing fish, you are not telling your communities and your voters that we are now protecting the fish industry with a 20% levy, which unfortunately the committee has reviewed to 10%. And this is to protect fish farmers in this country, and not just in Nyanza or the coast. Even fish farmers in Ondire, in Kikuyu, are now protected from cheap imports. And we have seen Chinese trawlers, Chinese coming, let me not mention countries, Honorable Speaker, apologies for that, but we have seen foreigners importing fish into our country, destroying our local farmers. We are protecting those people, but nobody is speaking about them. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to speak about them. Honorable Speaker, other than the fish, imported furniture, Honorable Speaker, if you walk through all government offices, including our constituency offices, Honorable Speaker, we use imported furniture. There is now a levy of 30% on imported furniture to make sure that hustlers producing furniture on Gong Road, Karioko, Kariobangi, in Kikuyu, Makutano, they are able to produce furniture and be able to sell them even to government institutions, Honorable Speaker. But we are not speaking about this, that there are incentives for local chocolate manufacturers who use milk that will come from farmers in Githunguri, in Kiambu, or in Limuru. It is easier to sell lies, Honorable Speaker, but allow me to support this bill with nothing but the truth that is contained in this bill. And as I close, Honorable Speaker, I want to speak to the people of Kenya. We have two choices: to either raise taxes from the people of Kenya and finance the expenditures that we all approved here last night, or to go out and borrow. As we close this debate, Honorable Speaker, as I close my submission, I beg all of you, be patriotic. Be patriotic. Be patriotic. Love your country. Love your country more than you love politics.